What's good, everybody? Back once again, and here for having that Disney. My bad, I said DC. Whoo, keeping it in. But news on them and wanting to, disconnect and get away from the whole Disney Plus TV show series stuff. And basically, is this like going to work to get like their stuff back on track? Now, I feel like we won't really know, mainly because the projects I feel like that we've already sort of been talking about, they're in development and all those stuff, and granted the strike and stuff going on, and that's but those things are already there, and I was like, unless they just start pulling out like some Warner Brothers stuff where they just start canceling on the whim, that seems like those projects are going to stay. Now maybe they could combine them or something like that. That might be a little different, but I was like, but to me, I'm like, so that means that we won't know that until after these group of shows come out, and then we'll be like able to take it from there. But by then, I was like, you're already sort of stuck in this little thing. Um, but it's to me, I like it's supposed to go to being like, and I get it. I was like, I feel like we did get a lot, but I like we sort of got a lot in general just because we were coming off of 2020. If that didn't happen, we would have been able to have these spread out instead of just throwing them all in at the same time. Now, granted, most of us are just, you just sort of stuck in the house. Even after it was over, you were sort of still in the routine of being at the house, watching TV. Nobody was really going to the movie still. You were watching online. So, therefore, it was still good to throw it out there. And I think that, looking back at some things of like, phase 4 and stuff, I feel like we can sort of give them a little bit of a mulligan on it just because how everything was the prior years and stuff like that. So then you want them to fast track and be like, yo, we're good, get everything rolling. And it's like, no, there's some stuff, like Falcon Winter Soldier had to change a lot of their script. I was like, I forgot. There was like another one that there was like a couple of them that just had to change their script and change, like do reshoots and like very difficult conditions. Now I'm like, okay, there was a situation going on, but sort of the problem is that it hasn't really changed or gotten better when things are sort of back to normal, and that's I feel like it's all like one of the problems in these. Granted, also with like poor writing, that people say poor writing and poor quality and stuff like that, but it's not just. I mean, it is pretty bad. It is pretty bad. And the quality has sort of also, in some cases, there's some cases where it's like it's there, and then like maybe the story doesn't get you, or or just like, oh, it's almost there, and it almost seemed like in some of these past projects, like because the MCU was so new back in the day, man, that's how long it's been around back in the day. Back in the day, that even though it had a formula to it that we could see, it was still like different enough while giving us those beats. Whereas now we done been with this so long, and now you done got people adapted to what is the MCU, and you got a lot of people that have grown up off of the MCU that are now in places to do these things, and I feel like we're sort of in a spot where MCU is sort of like in the meme of itself, just because it became so formulaic, and the way it is, where it's like Act One, slow, dragging, plot, talkity talk. Step 2, we figure out something that might happen, maybe. Remember that thing? Forget about it. It won't continue. Step 3, CGI fight. So, and I was like, I think that's sort of the issue. But they just gotta get better with some of the stuff. Like, there's some people that I was like already are off the bandwagon, or they're not invested in much anymore, and like they're really just watching it now just sort of review, or you got the people that hate on it. There's people that don't like it and they give it a criticism. Then there are people that like hate on it. Then there are people that just like hate on it in a way that's like, okay, it's obvious what you're doing here. That's this your lane, cool, whatever, like that. But like some of me, I'm pretty much fine with both things. I'm like, oh, that was cool, that was fun, that stuff like that. But I was like, since we sort of came out here, this I was like, a lot of the Marvel stuff been like, and I was a big top person. I was like, I'm going to see it 2-3 times. I'm watching the series over and over, and I was just like, I'll catch it. We'll see. What's the project? We'll see. And I was like, and that's sort of devastating that I'm at the point of how I am with the stuff. I was like, I was so excited once we started getting like MCU Marvel stuff, hit the connecting. Will it bring some of the other stuff back, crossover, all this stuff? And now they're kind of like, let me say. And I was like, and it's not that I don't think it's a superhero fatigue fully, but I do think that once you take sort of like the joy and the passion and the love of something, that you sort of do start to have a little bit of fatigue of it, where you're just like, yeah, I guess we'll see, whatever. Even I was like, it has to be now. Now we're going to be something like really great in order to bring back. And like Guardians 3 did sort of help with that, except for the dude that does it is jump to the other spot. So therefore, it's like sour taste. But I don't think taking away the D. I don't think you should take away the shows, especially if at some point, like I was also saying that they're gonna also start doing like Netflix with like the password like crackdown stuff. And I was like they can do it because I was like I feel like they got enough inventory to do it just like Netflix. But I do think that if you did have like no Marvel show, which was some of the reason why they did some Marvel shows the way they did do them and pushing them out, regardless of how they was, is sort of to get subscribers. That seems like that takes some of your subscribers away. Not something that you'll feel like immediately right now, like just like Netflix, they had like a boom after it happened. But I was like, but you gotta wait for that. You gotta wait for all that to settle, to see how it goes. Just like when 2020 happened, everybody like everything rose up because everybody was inside. So like it's rising up now because it's like, oh snap, I gotta get it. Then after you got it, then you
Mm-hmm.
realize you're like, I ain't really watching anything on this. Oh, cancel. Oh, they ain't doing show, cancel. I don't really like the Star Wars and all that. But hey, you just I was like, just start making stuff better. To be honest, like and I was like, I know that's easy to say, but I think if they don't have to get rid of them. They just condense it, condensing. I was like, we were doing like what, like 4 movies a year, and then there was time we had like what, like 3-4 movies, and then we also had like 3 or 4 shows. That's too much. That was too much. I was like, it's like not that it was too much, kind of like kind of like, oh man, I can't do it's like it's too much, and they're all and none of them are like banger, 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 banger. Like like look, if you had 3 out of 4 that are bangers, and which was like the Marvel, like that was really the Marvel thing where it was like not all of them was great, but none of them sucked. None of them had a problem. And now you're at the point where everybody's like, and I was like, I think and I was like, the thing is, Secret Invasion, I feel like really did that. Because Secret Invasion was like the first one I seen that even the people that defend and like the MCU couldn't do it, and when they can't do it, that's when they're the problem. Cause like I said, you're gonna have people like me that's just like, I'm fine. You're gonna have people that are like, I don't like it. I haven't liked it. Then you're gonna have like the haters and the hate. And I was like, I don't even like saying haters like that. But in this context, I gotta say it. And like the people that like hate watch it, where no matter what they do, they're going to have something bad to say about it. And yes, that was like, and that has been sort of the thing. And I was like, but I don't think they. I was like, but I don't ever think those drove the narrative. I think they jumped on something early and was able to point out that like, hey, Marvel ain't all it's cracked up to be. And which I mean, when you have something this high, at some point there's going to be like the people that one that is just that's like it's not for them. But at some point, going to be like, okay, hey, let's calm this train down. It's the greatest thing ever. Okay, no, it's not. And now we're starting to meet here, and it's not that those people are necessarily all right, but they have valid points, and some of the points started to show. You'll hear, of course, you'll get like, it's too woke, and I was like, depending on who you watch, that has various levels of meaning in that, and the negative that comes with it. Uh, You know, I get it didn't start out as that way, but how it's used now. Um, but I was like, you just gotta have shows that get people wanting to watch it through like us actually wanting to watch it, and not just because it's Marvel. Because that's too much where you bank on the fact that like it's Marvel, everybody come watch this, and it's like no, at some point there's too much stuff on TV now to be like I'm gonna sit here and watch this. I can watch this anytime I want to. I'll wait until you do all 6 of your episodes. Which also to me is another problem is that some of these like for instance Secret Invasion, while it wasn't good, I feel like if it also 12 episodes, it could have been better. And that's one of them weird concepts that is like a bad like a show getting more episodes being better, but it's like it's still the same that people are writing and people are doing. But it's also like yeah, but they could put more to sprinkle on top of that to make it at least something that's worth consuming. Um, but yeah, I was like, I don't think it's gonna work. I don't think they're gonna do it. I think they're just gonna probably just maybe trim down the budget and trim down the show and maybe just focus on the actual what you're trying to do and say. Because I don't think nothing was crazy bad, but I don't think a good majority of it was good. Like I'm just saying, it was school. You would probably be repeating the class. That's all I gotta say. But anyway, enough of my ramble in my mind just going and trying to figure out Marvel's problem because hey, what Bob Iger gets paid, he figured that out because that man making money. But anyway, like anything I had to say, thanks. I appreciate it. Go ahead, tell me if I'm wrong, tell me your idea, whatever. Like, subscribe, do all those things. But if not, hey, maybe next time. But until then, peace. I'm out.